Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got some wine for you. This is the 2016 Simi Landslide Vineyard Cabernet Sauvignon from the Alexander Valley in California. This is part of the November 2022 Somm Wine Club box. Now buckle in, there's a lot to cover with this wine. So Simi was started in 1876 in the Alexander Valley by brothers Giuseppe and Pietro Simi, who immigrated from Italy. They were only in charge of the winery until 1904, when both of them died from influenza within weeks of each other, leaving Giuseppe's 18-year-old daughter, Isabel Simi, in charge of the winery. Now, she guided the winery through the earthquake of 1906, the Prohibition in the 20s, and kept Simi running through all of that. She was the first female winemaker in the United States, and she was in charge of Sonoma County's longest continually operating winery. Of the 256 wineries that were operating in Sonoma at the start of Prohibition, only 50 were left afterwards. So you can imagine the kind of stress and pressure that was put on a young person running a winery in a place without any support from her family. Now, this is the Alexander Valley. This is the Landslide Vineyard Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a piece of property that the winery bought in the 80s. It's planted exclusively to Bordeaux varieties. And even though this is labeled as Cabernet Sauvignon, it's not 100% Cabernet Sauvignon because legally labeling regulations in the US only require 75% of a single variety in order to actually label it that way. So this is 75% Cabernet Sauvignon, 9% Malbec, 7% Cabernet Franc, 4% Petit Verdot, 3% Merlot, and 2% Tannat, which is a fascinating variety that's not a Bordeaux variety, but comes from the southwest of France in Madaran. Now, the Landslide Vineyard is a huge piece of property. It's 170 acres, and it's called the Landslide Vineyard because it was created by a volcanic landslide from Mount St. Helena that created this incredibly diverse sections of the vineyard. So they take different vineyard parcels, blend them together. The wine is fermented in stainless steel, kept on the skins for 30 days, and then aged in 45% new small American oak barrels for 2 years. So there's definitely oak presence here, but it's done in such a way that this wine shows elegance and restraint and has an old world kind of charm to it, even though it is modern, new world winemaking and has density and richness and fruit. Lots of black fruit, lots of black currant, blackberry, like plum. There's ripeness here. The alcohol is 14.5, so we're not shy about the alcohol. It's robust and it is showing, but it's not out of balance. This still has really pretty varietal character. There's some green spice. There's like a herbaceousness, that bell pepper, kind of spiced green herbs that you get from Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc, because there is a good chunk of Cabernet Franc in here as well. Oh, that is silky. The tannins are polished, they're plush, they're really, really drinkable. They're still Cabernet. Like, there's no mistaking the fact that this is Cabernet Sauvignon or majority Cabernet Sauvignon. You feel the intensity of it. You can feel the richness of the tannins. But that beautiful plush fruit kind of helps to soften the grip of these tannins. Also the fact that this is a 2016 vintage, so we're looking at a wine with now 6 years of bottle or barrel age, so the tannins integrate a little bit. You get less upfront kind of grip and a softer, more approachable kind of profile to the tannins. That historical point of Isabel Simi being the first female winemaker in the United States, that trend has continued through pretty much all of Simi's almost 150-year history. So current winemakers are Melissa Stackhouse and Lisa Avich, and they continue a very long line of female winemaking at Simi. Almost exclusively throughout its history, they've had a female winemaker, which is a fantastic thing and really a pioneer for females in the wine industry in California, but also globally across the United States and around the world. So really excited to share that with people. I love finding these unique little stories that I can kind of put out and give people an opportunity to try something and hear and see what makes these wines interesting. People are not unfamiliar with the food to pair with fuller bodied reds, but because this has that softer kind of juicy fruit profile, the tannins are, like I said, a little bit plusher and a little bit silkier and more integrated. I don't think you need a big grilled steak with this. This would be delicious with something slow cooked, braised, doing things like short ribs where you render out that fat and you can bring it to a point where it doesn't need a big grippy tannic red. Something that has some spice, something that has some elegance and balance between fruit, tannin, and ripeness. It would be delicious. You can do vegetarian here. You can do grilled mushrooms, grilled peppers. If you are lucky enough to have your barbecue under cover, then go nuts. Get out there, do some grilling, or doing a really great beef stew is another one here. Those slow cooking preparations that kind of render out some of the fat are great with this because, like I said, it's so silky and easy to drink. I'm excited to share another delicious wine with everybody. Thank you so much for taking part in my wine adventure. If you're interested in more about Simi, please reach out. I'd love to talk to you about what I learned about this winery and the stories behind it. So enjoy. Thank you. We'll see you all next time.